knocking it out at Shane's Rib Shack for a Thursday. Victor Barnes checking in next, defensive lineman. Victor, good to see you.
Good to see you too, sir.
Victor, how big are you?
I am 6 foot and 230.
230. Carried the 230 pretty well?
Oh, yes, sir.
How did you get to be 230? What came about to put that 230 together? How'd you put that package together?
Well, I've always been a big kid. But lifting weights and exercising got me this big.
I was thinking about the other day, back when I was a youngster in high school, one year I came to I think the big thing for high school guys start the season was always the weigh-in. Find out how much you weigh from, everybody wants to say I weigh, blah, blah, blah. One year I think I weighed in at 175, and then the next year I weighed in at 170. I dropped weight because I had a wrestling team I worked with. We just lost tons of weight. But then the final year I went from like 170 to 200 pounds, 30 pounds of weight put on. Went into high school, weighed about 150, left at about 200. How do you put that weight on, and how do you put the good weight on? Because sometimes you can put the bad weight on, and man, that bad weight on is trouble. How'd you put the good weight on?
Yes, sir. Like I said, exercising, lifting weight, eating right will do you good.
How much hard weight did you lift this past summer?
Lifted a lot of weight. With the weightlifting program that Coach Fritz has at Southeast Guilford, you're gonna get bigger.
Does he? Some coaches put you in the weight room. You've got the routine you go through. You go through your regular workout on that given day. Does Coach Fritz stay in the weight room and push you guys while you're in there? Because some coaches do, some coaches don't.
Yes, sir. Coach Fritz is always that coach that's gonna make you reach your potential, if not more.
Try to get a little bit above and beyond what you got to get.
Yes, sir.
Can you say weigh 230 now?
Yes, sir.
Didn't you score a touchdown this year?
I did.
In that first game, right?
Yes, sir.
How did that touchdown? That's pretty rare for a defensive player to even get a touchdown. And you're not a defensive back, you're a defensive lineman. Defensive back may pick one off. As they say, the pick six, take it to the house, but you're a defensive lineman, got a TD. How'd you get that touchdown?
Well, I often switch in at fullback with Shakir Turner, and I just try to run hard and get that touchdown.
And how much distance territory did you cover to get that TD?
It probably was like 4 yards.
4 yards? You're like 4 yards away from the end zone.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else fighting you for the ball when you got the ball?
No, sir.
So you
just run right through.
Run right through and just took it on to the end zone.
Yeah, thanks to the offensive line.
I wondered about this because I never scored a lot of touchdowns, but I always thought, what do you do when you score? Do you take the ball, hand it to the ref, do you just flip it up in the air? What was your reaction then?
I can't remember.
You just all came together so fast, so quick.
Yes, sir.
But it felt good.
Oh, yeah.
Are you hungry maybe for another one?
Oh, yeah, definitely, always.
Do they teach the defensive linemen at maybe the linebackers, the defensive players at Southeast to kind of go ahead and try to knock that ball?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I always try to strip the ball when you're going in for the tackle.
And you think about stripping, does trying to strip ever take away from making a tackle? You ever get so focused on trying to knock that ball out that it takes away from trying to finish off the tackle?
Well, you always have...
There must be some kind of science to it, doing both at the same time.
Right. Personally, I just try to punch the ball out, and if not, I can't get it out, just go ahead and make the tackle.
Just make sure you take care of business there.
Yes, sir.
Have you stripped any this year? Is that?
I haven't, but it's more to come.
It's getting there.
Yeah,
it's coming
yes, sir.
Up. Gotcha. At 4-0, why do you think Southeast is a better team this year than you were last year?
Well, it's like my teammate said, it's a lot of us seniors, and I feel that we have a certain kind of bond this year. And with everybody feeling as a family, we can reach our goals successfully.
Yeah, we talked about those all-season workouts with Coach Fritz, how that got you to a certain level right now. Were you one of the kids that was part of that summer workout program that made the maximum number to kind of qualify for that elite group?
Yes, sir. It's called 100% Club. You come every day, get a T-shirt, and it makes you feel better about yourself knowing that you can actually accomplish something.
And you got something, I'm sure, written on that T-shirt too, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that something Coach Fritz put together?
Yes, sir.
What's it say on the T-shirts again?
It says 100% Club Southeast Football.
Man, is that the kind of shirt that you wear under your shoulder pads during the game? You keep that shirt with you, or you got that one put away somewhere at home?
You can wear it wherever you want, just to show that you can actually reach something.
What about the job of a defensive lineman? What's that job? Especially, does it vary from different teams? Like you're playing Southwest, is it different with them than it would be maybe with another team?
Well, the way our defense is coached is you always have to get hands. Make sure that you have a certain separation with the offensive lineman and do your job.
Do you try to overpower the offensive lineman when you're doing your work?
Oh, yes, always.
Yeah? Pretty
always.
Good head-to-head battles?
Yes, sir.
What if you had to go up against the Kevin Brown or maybe the TJ Williams over there? Trying to overpower some of those guys.
Like I said, if you keep separation and come off the ball harder, then you can win.
You get to work against those guys in practice?
Oh, yes, sir, every day.
I would say there was the old adage, working against a good player makes you a better player.
Yes, sir, it does.
Going head-to-head against those guys ought to make you a tougher player down the road.
Yeah.
You think about the game, and overall for tomorrow night, you look at Southwest. Do you see Southwest as being the toughest team you would have played so far this season? Who's your toughest opponent prior to this game, you think?
Well, I mean, you have to go in each week thinking that the team that you're going up against will be the hardest team, and, just stay focused on that week.
What about your teammates? Patrick Mays, tell us about him.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one. He's very smart. He does everything that he's coached to do, and like I said, he does his job good.
What about Justin Hooks?
Oh, Justin, he's a big one. He's real tall, got long arms, and he's an inside guy and outside guy, so he does his responsibilities right.
What about Elliott Rawls?
Elliott Rawls, he also is a big guy. He does his responsibilities, comes off the ball, strong-headed.
It sounds like you got some pretty big players on this team. We talked about the offensive line. You got Kevin Brown, about 356, and you got T.J. Williams checking in at 290. These guys on the defensive side of the ball, they're pretty large too?
Oh, yes, sir.
You're sitting at 230. Anybody the same size or bigger than you?
Oh, yeah, bigger. Justin Hooks, he weighs like 260, and Elliott Rawls is up there at 260 with him.
Good offensive line, good defensive line for Southeast. Who's your best friend away from football?
My best friend? I'll have to say God. I live my life for God, and He's my best friend.
I think you got a good one on your side there.
Thank you.
You keep things in order with him, you're going to overpower pretty much
Oh,
your
yes,
face
sir.
if you're
Yes,
willing
sir.
to pay that price, and I'm sure you are. What do you think the biggest difference is in your life as far as it goes? Let's say the biggest influence in your life. You talked about God being a major influence too, but maybe a person's a big influence for you in your life.
My influence are my parents. I mean, they work hard to get me where I am now and to get me further from where I am now. So, I mean, they're one of my biggest influences.
Have you seen a lot of improvement since your early days at Southeast?
Oh, yes, sir. Definitely. Came in a little nervous, not knowing really what I was doing, but with the helping of the coaching staff, I am who I am today.
Yeah, during the off season, you had all those summer workouts. Did you go to any combines, any camps, anything like that?
Yeah, I went to a couple of football camps.
Where were they at?
I went to a Wake Forest camp, NC State camp.
Things showed up pretty well there for you?
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Get any letters back in the mail from some of the schools?
I've been getting emails.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Does that come from I never saw those back when I was younger because we didn't have computers back then, but does that come from the assistant coaches or who from the staff?
I think it can come from any coach.
I got you there. First season ever for football for you. When did you get started?
I played Pee-wee, but I was always too heavy, so I couldn't really play. I just practiced.
You went to the weigh-ins, they wouldn't let you play?
Yeah, I was too heavy.
Man, how old were you then?
Real young, 6 and 7, 8, 9.
And who did you get started finally when you finally broke into football? Which team?
It was Warnersville. I actually played. It was like a playoff game, All-Stars game, and it didn't have a weight limit, so I actually got to play.
So you had to sit out almost the entire year, and they finally let you play by the All-Star game.
Yes, sir.
That's not tough. That was probably a blessing for you there to finally get in the game.
Yes, sir.
After sitting out the entire year there. What's the toughest player or the toughest team that you probably faced since you've been at Southeast?
Toughest team I would have to say would be Ragsdale.
Ragsdale?
Yes, sir.
Most previous opponent?
Yes, sir.
Gotcha. What do you think, again, you look down the road in the Metro 4A, you can't look too far beyond Southwest Guilford there tomorrow night, that's the most important game, but you kind of look at the glance at the Metro because one of your goals is to win the conference.
Right.
So who do you think might be the toughest team in the conference?
The toughest team in the conference, I would have to say Dudley.
Dudley?
Yes, sir.
And who do you think maybe after them?
After them, we'll probably go to Page.
Page.
Yes,
did you get to go scout anybody in that off week?
I did. I went to the Dudley and Hillside game.
Where did you guys sit at? Was there a lot of people there that night? That was a big
I
crowd.
actually didn't get a seat. I had to stand up and watch the game.
Did you guys practice that Friday? That's a big question. During the bye week, during the off week, the coaches back in the prehistoric days, back when we used to have to ride dinosaurs to practice, but used to give that Friday off. Did you guys get off that day or get an off day then?
We did. We got off that day and could go and watch other teams play.
Gotcha. So you checked out the Dudley Panthers. One of your teammates, I think it was maybe Travis Williams, said Emmanuel Mosley. Very impressed with him, the quarterback.
Oh yes, sir. He's a good quarterback, and he does his job and he tries to win the football game. So we got to watch out for him.
If you guys could do your job, we always like to look at the hypothetical situation. That's where we share with Coach Bill Slayton, who was here earlier tonight. Hypothetical situation. If you guys could take care of business, you guys would be headed toward a team like Dudley, the last game of the whole season. So if you did take care of your business, that would be a big matchup late in the year.
Oh yes, sir. it's always a matchup with Dudley.
But again, the most important game for you right now is
It's definitely going to be Southwest.
Southwest Guilford. Can't forget the Cowboys. And again, defensively, you're looking out for the quarterback, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Their offense seems to be a good team, a good offense to go against, but they have some good backs in the backfield, so we have to watch out for them.
I tell you, the Rick Mack kid is going to be. I think he's probably like a poster. Rick Mack's probably posted on every convenience store, every pizza restaurant, every building down around the southeast neighborhood. That kid comes in tomorrow night. He hits off of the new highway 421, takes that exit left, comes down that southeast school road. He hits a little divisional borough right there. He's going to be a marked man, I'm sure.
Oh yes, sir. But as long as us defensive players play our game and do our responsibilities, we won't have to worry about much.
How do you tackle a guy like that? Do you tackle him when you make the tackle? Do you drive him into the ground, try to lay on top of him, let him know you made the tackle, you made the hit? Or you make the tackle, pop up, hit back to the defensive line?
Well, I mean, you always have to be humble about what you're doing, but you also want everyone to know that you made the tackle.
That you did your job?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we talked about this. We've been doing this show about 6 years now. We saw a lot of football back when we were younger, too. But you look back at it, the Southeast defensive scheme going in, is your scheme, as I mentioned to one of the other players tonight, talked about the deal about sometimes they let defensive players to a certain extent, let them run loose, let them run a little wild. They can run, make plays, make tackles. Is your defensive role like that from your position, where you've got the freedom to go chase the ball carrier, or do you got to step in a certain spot of the field, keep the lineman off your linebacker so the linebackers can run free, make tackles? You got the freedom, the expense to make the play?
Well, there's a lot of plays where we can, feel free to go up and do what we would think would be the right thing to do. But there's also other plays where you have to make sure that you don't go get upfield and stay on the line of scrimmage and stay on your gaps and make sure that you can make a tackle if it comes your way.
You got the responsibility, probably stick to that first.
Oh, yes, sir.
Do the coaches, I mean, is this all, they put it in pretty good terms, I'm sure, when they're coaching. They lay it out, you guys can understand it, know what's going on, and you don't kind of get stray off the course and you stay with the course.
Yes, sir. We have a good coaching staff. They make sure that we can do what we have to do, and if we have questions, we can always come feel
Who's your
free to
defensive
ask.
line coach?
Coach Wilson.
Coach Wilson?
Yes, sir.
What do you say about Coach Wilson? What have you learned from that man? He's been running you through all these practices during this regular season, even back during the preseason, back in late July, early August. What do you say about the coach?
I know he's a good coach. I mean, he's fresh. I mean, he's young. He came out of college, and he knows a lot of new stuff that can help us win a lot of football games.
He's a pretty young coach then.
Oh, yes, sir.
He's very hungry, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you know what college he came from?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Methodist.
Methodist. See? Had a chance to play some football down there, probably.
Yes, sir.
What's the pro team that you watch on Sunday afternoons? Any idea what your pro team is?
Still a nation. Still a nation.
Boy, I'm surprised you even admit it. Well, that's a tough year for those guys.
Yes, sir.
0-3?
Yes, sir.
That's tough.
It
Gotta be
is.
real tough. What do you got to do? What do they got to do to turn that? I watched them that first game of the year, very first Sunday, and they got off to a good start the first quarter. All of a sudden you look up, they're getting worn out.
Yes, sir. I really couldn't answer that. I mean, if the offense, Lineman blocked for Ben Roethlisberger, he can make a lot of plays because he's a good quarterback.
Just doesn't seem to be the Steeler team of the past right now, though.
Right. Hopefully we can come through.
And how do you get ready on game day? Any certain thing you do before the game? Maybe on that Friday afternoon, you got about game time 7:30. What are you doing around 5 o'clock, 5:30 to start getting ready?
Well, throughout the whole day, I'm hyped and thinking about that night, but I try to stay calm until it's actually that ready time to go out and win this football game.
So even when you get up that morning, you're still thinking about it already?
Oh, yes, sir.
Let's see, good luck breakfast on a football day, game day.
It depends on what's in the house.
You're going to eat anything in sight, probably.
Yes, sir.
Got to get some preschool energy. What time you got to be at school? What time does school day start for you guys down there?
Well, classes start at 8:55, so.
That gives you plenty of time to get up, get rolling, man.
Yes, sir.
Have you got so dedicated now you're going out for a morning run before school every morning, doing a 5-mile run? Or
No, sir. No, sir.
Not quite yet on that, huh?
Save the energy for the game.
How do you make, this is a kind of a final question, our final guest tonight with us here at Shane's Rib Shack. Got the Southeast Guilford Victor Barnes with us talking about the football game, Southeast, Southwest. How do you make yourself hate the other team? Because you mentioned a good example earlier about a relationship with Christ and being a person of faith and religion, but how do you make yourself, get yourself in that mold? I got to hate that guy on the other team, I got to beat that guy, we got to beat these guys, got to take them out. How do you get that frame of mind set in place?
If you go in the game thinking about dedication and all the hard work that you put in throughout the off season, and thinking about not only yourself but your teammates, and you want to win as bad as everybody else on the field does, and if you just work hard and accomplish what you have been taught to do, then you will win the game. game.
Got some good ideas. Victor Barnes with us, defensive lineman, Southeast Guilford Falcons, set for Southwest on Friday night. As I mentioned some of your teammates earlier, there have been years in the past when a little bit of struggle for Southeast for some reason against a team like Southwest. How do you make sure you don't underestimate these guys, overlook these guys when you get ready for that big game tomorrow night?
Like I said, you always have to go in the game focused and ready to play hard. I mean, you do what your coaches have taught you to do, and then go in, you can win the game.
What makes you love football? You got to love it to play it. You got to love it to dig in, and deep down, you got to really have an affection, a passion for this game. What makes you love this game of football?
Winning. I mean, everybody wants to win.
That's the reward, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
For all the hard work.
Yes, sir.
Listen, Victor, good to talk to you.
All right,
good luck in that game tomorrow night. Keep up the good work. We'll look for you in the All-Metro 4A team this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Joined by about 6 or 7 Southeast Guilford Falcon teammates, maybe.
All righty.
Thank you, Victor.
All right, thank you.
Good job, Victor Barnes with us, defensive lineman. We'll head back to